What is going on YouTube? This is Dev. Hope you guys are having a good day. And hope you guys are having some positive vibes. I am going to do a deck breakdown of a deck that I just recently finished building. I've actually had good luck with it on Pokemon TCG Live, and I'm hoping to try this out soon at my local tournament. It's a Dragapult EX deck. So I will go into the deck, and we'll start off with the basic Pokemon that we have. So first off, we are going to have 4 copies of Dragapult, and this is actually going to be a very simple energy deck. You're just going to have one of each. For 1 psychic energy, you can do Petty Grudge for 10 damage, or for a fire and psychic energy, you'll have Bite that deals 40 damage. Next up, we're going to have 4 copies of Dragapult with the ability Recon Directive. So that is where once during your turn, you may look at the top 2 cards of your deck and put one of them into your hand and put the other card on the bottom of your deck. And then for a fire and psychic energy, Dragon Headbutt for 70 damage. So again, that is 4 copies of Dragapult. Next up, we're going to have 3 copies of Dragapult EX. HP 320 for 1 colorless energy, which can be psychic or fire. Jet Headbutt for 70. But the main attack is going to be Phantom Dive for 1 fire, 1 psychic for 200 damage. And also, you can put 6 damage counters on one of your opponent's benched Pokemon in any way you like. So say if they have a Pokemon with an HP of 200 and one of their bench Pokemon has exactly 60 HP, that's 3 card prize attack right there. Next up, I'm going to have 2 copies of Duskull from Shrouded Fable. 2 copies of Dusclops for Curse Blast, where you can put 5 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon in any way you like. But once you do that, your Pokemon is knocked out. Next up, we have 1 copy of Dusknoir Curse Blast, where you can put 13 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon in any way you like. If you use this ability, your Pokemon is knocked out. So that's 130 damage you can do to one of your opponent's Pokemon. But that does not mean your turn ends. You still get to attack. Next up, 2 copies of Badoo. No energy at all. Itchy Pollen for 10. During your opponent's next turn, they cannot play any item cards. So if you want to disrupt them from trying to use rare candy to evolve, for example, a Charizard, boom. You use Itchy Pollen, they can't evolve into Charizard. Next up, we got 1 copy of Hlucha, Flying Entry. When you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench, during your turn, you may choose 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon and put 1 damage counter on each of them. And since Radiant Charizard went out of rotation, we are now using Blood Moon Ursaluna EX. It's basically the same style form like Radiant Charizard. For each prize card your opponent has taken, it'll cost 1 energy less. Deals 240 damage using Blood Moon. And then we have Pheasantipity EX. Once during your turn, if any of your Pokemon were knocked out during your opponent's last turn, you may draw 3 cards. That is for Flip the Script ability. And I know this deck, it was a regional first place winner. Couldn't find my unfair stamp, so what I'm actually going to do to get Pokemon onto my bench, I'm using the A-Spec Precious Trolley, where I search my deck for any number of basic Pokemon and put them onto my bench. Next up, 2 copies of Boss's Orders. Switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon to the active spot. Pretty straightforward. Next up, 2 copies of Professor's Research. Straightforward on this one. Discard your hand and draw 7 cards. Next up, 3 copies of Night Stretcher from Shrouded Fable. Put a Pokemon or basic energy card from your discard pile into your hand. So you can only choose one or the other. 1 copy of Switch, and I decided to go Vintage. So as long as this card is still in rotation, you can actually use any style card. So switch one of your bench Pokemon with your active Pokemon. Next up, we got 4 copies of Ultra Ball. I decided to go a little old school. You can still use this style Ultra Ball card, even though the text is different. It's still in rotation, so you can still use the older Ultra Ball cards. And basically, Ultra Ball is discard 2 cards from your hand, and then search your deck for a Pokemon, reveal it, put it into your hand, shuffle your deck. Pretty straightforward. Next up, we are going to have 4 copies of Buddy Buddy Poffin. Search your deck for up to 2 basic Pokemon with 70 HP or less and put them onto your bench. Then shuffle your deck. Next up, we got 4 copies of Iono. Each player shuffles their hand and puts it on the bottom of their deck. If either player puts any cards on the bottom of their deck in this way, each player draws a card for each of their remaining prize cards. So say if you have 5 prize cards and your opponent still has 6, your opponent draws 6, you draw 5 cards. Pretty straightforward with Iono. Some opponents hate it. Next up, we have Luxurious Cape, 1 copy. If this Pokemon this card is attached to doesn't have a rule box, it gets 100 HP. And if it's knocked out by damage from an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, that player takes 1 more prize card. So, that is a Pokemon tool card. So, pretty straightforward. If you want to use it on, say, Badoo, to give Badoo extra HP, by all means. Next up, we got 1 copy of Earthen Vessel. You can use this card only if you discard another card from your hand. Search your deck for up to 2 basic energy cards, reveal them and put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. So if you want to get energy attached to your Dragapult, that's the best card to use. Next up, 3 copies of Countercatcher. You can only use this card if you have more prize cards remaining than your opponent. Switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with their active Pokemon. So I got 2 Sun and Moon Arrow versions and 1 Paradox Rift version. But you can still use these ones since these cards are in rotation. Next up, 2 copies of Arven, one of the most highly playable trainer cards in meta. Search your deck for an item card and tool card, reveal it, put them into your hand, and then shuffle your deck. Next up, 2 copies of Jacques. Search your deck for up to 2 evolution Pokemon, reveal them and put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. So if you want to get your Dreepy evolved into Dracaloak, if you have 2 Dreepies on your bench, search your deck for 2 Dracaloaks. That way you can get it evolved quickly. Or if you have 2 Dragapults already in play, search your deck for 2 Dragapult and get them evolved. Next up, we got 1 copy of Nest Ball. Search your deck for a basic Pokemon, put it onto your bench, then shuffle your deck. 1 copy of Rare Candy. Choose one of your basic Pokemon in play. If you have a Stage 2 card in your hand that evolves from that Pokemon, put that card onto the basic Pokemon to evolve it, skipping the Stage 1. You can't use this card during your first turn or on the basic Pokemon you put into play that turn. One copy of Rescue Board. The retreat cost of the Pokemon this card is attached to is 1 energy less. If that Pokemon's remaining HP is 30 or less, it has no retreat cost. And next up for our for our energies, we got 3 copies of Psychic Energy, 3 copies of Fire Energy. So, Dragapult is probably one of the highly played decks in the meta right now. I'm going to try and give this a whirl next time I go to my local tournament. I have tried it on TCG Live. I've had a few people concede, and I will upload a video of me playing it as well, so stay tuned for that. If you did like this video on the deck breakdown, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It does help me out quite a bit. This is a passion of mine, building decks and doing deck breakdowns. So be sure to check out the videos. I do upload as much as I can. A little bit about why I got into Pokemon. It's kind of been a coping skill for me while dealing with stage 3 kidney disease and several other health issues. And just wanted something to keep me in positive mood. And I did get inspiration from Real Breaking Nate, along with Pokerev and Deep Pocket Monster, to name a few. So, also I want to give a shout out to Earl's Pokestop. I do enjoy his videos as well. So, be sure to follow those guys as well. So, be sure to follow Earl's Pokestop, Real Breaking Nate, Deep Pocket Monster, any of the guys that do Pokemon content. They have been inspirations to me. So, this is Dev saying hope you guys have a good day, and I will be doing more deck breakdowns here soon.